I really hope someone picks up that phone. Because I called it. I called it. Oh, I called it from a mile away. Like, I saw the synopsis. The short but sweet synopsis for Lava Lake Beach before watching this episode. And it said, Kelly breaks up with her boyfriend, and Marcos begins to question his friendship with Star. And the moment I saw that, I was like, oh no. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Just when I was enjoying the fact that Star and Marco could just be friends again, and it looked like things were back to normal, Darren, the creator, was just like, let's have some fun with this guy. Oh boy. Alright, let's just get on with it. Hello ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host Rohan Lawrence, and welcome to another Star vs. the Forces of Evil vlogs. I have noticed that my lighting has been less than ideal in my other room, so I'm deciding to just have them here because I feel like just being able to see my face better is just, more, makes it more bearable. The first half of this episode is called Dreamcatcher, and it starts off with Star seemingly flying effortlessly through the skies, eating goblin dogs to her heart's content. When she realizes that she woke up, and that dream was not a dream, it was in fact reality. She wakes up with a whole bunch of wrappers with goblin dog stuff on them. Marco comes in, wonders what all the noise is about, and so it turns out, yeah, she has been actually, in fact, eating real goblin dogs. But how, you may ask? Apparently, she has been going full butterfly, the form that she used to defeat Toffee while she'd been sleeping, and has been dimension hopping without the use of dimension scissors, which, according to the Star lore, is not possible without said scissors. So that just goes to prove that Star is becoming way more powerful with magic. But of course, she can't control this. This is wild and unpredictable as when she first used her Uberty form, and so she of course asks her mom for any kind of help. She wants to know more about it and Moon essentially says what we already know. It happens first during Uberty. There's no control, but after that you have to train to control it, and then essentially it should not be happening while you're sleeping. It should just not kick in like that. Star tries to dig around for more and says essentially well, what would happen if that was the case. River doesn't do much to help and says that, well, that was actually the situation. We would probably have to lock you up, report you to the High Commission, and essentially we would probably have to adopt a new daughter, which doesn't help Star whatsoever. Marco wants to tell them, but Star tells him to keep it on the hush-hush. And so Star asks, essentially orders Marco, seeing that he is still her squire, which we'll get onto that later, to essentially watch her and to make sure she doesn't go off. Marco says, cool, well, you'll be chained down and stuff, and I have a chain attached to me, so I'll know when you're acting up. That doesn't help though. She goes full butterfly and goes down to her own portal and is just taking off, and because Marco's attached, he has to go with her. And so Marco struggles and manages to snap her out of it eventually. And once Star realizes that, she tries to use her butterfly form to fly back into the portal she created, but because she can't control it, it of course starts to naturally disappear. When it looks like Marco and Star are just floating forever helplessly, Eclipse of all people helps them out. Like, she pulls them out. So I'm just like, so Eclipse is out of her cage. Wonderful. She really can't escape at any time. It's just, she's playing them like a fiddle. And so this is Marco's first meeting with Eclipse, and they have a nice little funny exchange. This leads to Star telling Marco to leave so she can talk to Eclipse and ask for advice. Not a wise move, in my opinion. So she asks, what am I gonna do? Like, I keep these transformations keep happening, and Eclipse, being Eclipse, of course says, I would just let them happen. See where it goes. Any knowledge is good knowledge, which is what she says. Star considers it and says, yeah, I'll try it. And then asks, wait, how in the world did you get out? And Eclipse reveals that she can travel throughout the castle via Harry Potter portrait style. Like, she knows all the ins and outs of the castle, which is not surprising. I mean, she was a queen there. Like she says, any knowledge is good knowledge, as she tells Star. Star should probably tell Moon that Eclipse can leave anytime she wants, but she probably won't. And so the episode ends with Star telling Marco that she doesn't need help with this anymore and that she's decided that she is going to see where this whole portal hopping thing takes her. Marco shows concern, but Star says, I appreciate it, but I'm just going to do me. I got this. The episode ends with Star, again, dimension hopping in her sleep, and Marco watching her essentially do such thing, showing concern for his friend. So let's just get on to what I think everybody's going to be calling Marco's version of Bon Bon the Birthday Clown / Star Crushed. Because holy crap did life kick him in the nuts in this episode. I mean, wow! So it starts off with Tom, Star, Kelly, and Marco at a underworld beach. And Tom and Star being all cute like any girlfriend and boyfriend are. As a side note, it just kind of confirms that her and Tom have way more in common, or more alike than Marco and her. And I mean, isn't that the ideal relationship? I mean, I'm not coming to be an expert, but like, you want to have, when you're dating, you want to find someone who's similar to you, so you can get along well. That's just how I feel. So as they're just enjoying themselves, Kelly seems to be out of it, just kind of not paying attention to any of them. And until a group of skeletons show up and claim that Star's group is in their spot. Tom's like, you can't talk to my girlfriend like that, and Star is just like, I think we need to teach this guy some manners. So when it looks like they're about to fight, via hardcore fighting style, Marco starting to get worried. It turns out they're going to settle it via volleyball game. But again, Kelly's having none of it and just walks off. Marco tries to get Tom and Star to help them, but they're too busy being girlfriend and boyfriend, and Marco's just like, I'm over it. Let's just go. On a side note, I think it is kind of messed up that Star just gave Tom one of Marco's hoodies. I mean, dude, really? Way to rub salt in the wound. So Marco goes and finds Kelly and essentially tries to, ask what's wrong. Kelly says that, her and Tad broke up, but not like, a breakup where they just get back together as it's been stated that they do all the time. Like, it's a break. Like, we're done. Like, no more. They finally moved on, which good for both of them. Like, seriously, stop that noise. It's really annoying when couples do that. And so, Marco, tells Kelly, I know how you feel. I just broke up with Jackie. And, says, like, eventually you'll learn to move on. That stuff doesn't bother you anymore. Marco doesn't really seem that broken up that, him and Jackie are dating. Like, he got over it really quick. So we all know that's not what well, let's just say that for later. And so Kelly says, like, no thanks, I appreciate that, but like, he's still here. Like, he's physically still living with Kelly. Like, apparently he's been living in her hair. And he's not just on top of her hair. Like, her hair is a whole entire dimension in and of itself. Like as Marco went in there to find Tad because he volunteered to talk to Tad, and apparently Tad considers him his best friend. I don't even know how. They've had like one episode of screen time. Star versus the forces of evil, everyone. Ships and friendship just happen like that. And so, like I said, Marco volunteers to go inside Kelly's hair and talk to Tad. When he finds him, he says, like, dude, you're not helping yourself by constantly being around the girl that you need to move on from. Tad eventually agrees, saying that, yeah, Marco, you would know best about that. As Marco's about to agree, he's like, wait, what are you talking about? And he's just like, I mean, isn't that what you do with Star? And he's just like, what does that have to do with anything? It was like, dude, you have dimensional scissors. You could literally be in any other dimension that you chose to be, yet you choose to be around your unavailable crush. And Marco just starts kind of freaking out as he realizes everybody's worst nightmare, oh crap, I caught the feels. Like, the whole moment where Marco realizes that he actually does have feelings for his best friend, he kind of just has what is famously known as a Marco moment. And he starts freaking out in denial. And much like any single person who wants to be with somebody, he starts seeing couples everywhere. And man, did this episode get a bit too real for my taste. I mean, come on. Like, it is an actual phenomenon that is actually a thing. Like, the moment you break up, you start seeing those couples everywhere. And like, of course, there's a couple right there. Then even one of them is just like, man, I'm so glad to be in love with my best friend. And I'm just like, man, this day is just not great for Marco. And of course, the icing on the cake, because let's just keep kicking Marco while he's down, shall we? He of course sees Tom and Star kissing, and that makes him sad, and he goes off. So as he's kind of coming to terms with the fact that he did in fact catch the feels, Kelly finds him and says that, your talk with Tad helped, he's finally gone, so they can both finally move on. But then she realizes that Marco has issues of his own and volunteers to help him. This actually leads to a really good scene that I'm actually going to go back and watch over and over again because it is really inspirational. The whole reason they're there is to watch the Soul Rise. I don't know if I mentioned that at the beginning. And Kelly says that, she loves to watch the Soul Rise with Tad. They did it every year. Marco asks, well, why are you here now if, you're not together anymore? Because she says that she loves the Soul Rise regardless. And she didn't want something that gave her, beauty and happiness to make her sad. She decided that the only way to live with it is to face it head on, to rewrite that memory and make it her own. Man, more of that, please. Like, if Kelly's that kind of character, more of her, please. Because I found that really inspirational on a personal level. And I think anyone can relate to that. That is how you make good, relatable characters. And so she essentially shows him a secret passage to get to, like, the best view of the ocean. And when Marco says that, they should probably find Tom and Star, she's like, nah, they don't understand. Like, they haven't really earned this. Which is interesting. Like, I'm gonna wait and see. So it leads to a very sweet moment, and now everybody and their mother's gonna be shipping these two. It leads to a very nice moment where Marco takes off his signature hoodie and gives it to Kelly. And Kelly's kind of asking, like, what are you doing? And Marco kind of, like Marco, stumbles and says, like, I thought you were cold. And she's like, she appreciates the gesture. She doesn't seem to mind it at all. Dude, man, moving in on your best friend Tad's turf right after they broke up. Come on, Marco. Bad move. Both you and Star are making bad moves today. So it leads to a nice moment with them watching the Soul Rise. And it ends with Kelly wishing Marco a happy birthday because he does mention to her that it's his birthday. So first thing, ow. Seriously, ow. Second of all, I love that moment with Kelly. I like to read a lot of different information of self-help personally, and one of my favorite guys to read is Tony Robbins. And what she says is essentially mirroring what he says. When we have a memory that's not ideal, that it doesn't show us in the great light, when we're hurt by somebody, something that we tend to do is just natural unless we unless we stop it, like with our own willpower, we will continue to replay a bad memory over and over again. Why? It doesn't benefit us in any way. We just do it. And it doesn't make us feel any better. The only way to stop it is to consciously control it and shift it so that it's yours. Like, alter it. Learn what's good about it. What can you take away from it? And to me, what Kelly said was a reminder of that, and I appreciated it. I appreciated that a lot. A third thing was that Marco's situation is more relatable than I would like to admit. I mean, I can't tell you how much times I've done it, other guys have done it. We have a tendency to stick around, we have a tendency to stick around girls that we like and just settle for being their friend. We, lack of a better term, spill our guts out, and they say no, but say, oh, we can still just be friends, right? And then we stupidly say yes, even though we don't mean it. That's not the girl's fault. We have to take responsibility. If we're not comfortable with that, we shouldn't just settle for second best. And unbeknownst to Narco, he did do that. I mean, he's essentially just been kind of reserved on the shelf. And, once he finally kind of, comes to grips with that, he's just like, oh no. I mean, he did give up his entire life just to live on Muni. And as much as I want to think that it was becoming Squire, unfortunately, it was because he caught the feels. Oh, the feels. They're dangerous, my friends. Don't catch them. Don't catch them at all. So I'm really looking forward to what's going to happen. What I'm hoping to see is Marco distance himself from Star. Because he needs to. It's just not healthy for you to be around someone that you want something more with, and they either don't want that or they're not able to give you that, regardless of the circumstance. So I am looking forward to that. And a vlog I bet you never expected to hear about relationship stuff, but like, dang, this episode really came close to home and is more real than people realize. So, if that was the purpose of this episode, Darren and the creators, you guys nailed it. I mean, that was just great. I look forward to seeing what happens. I am just concerned because now we've got another ship. Seriously, as if this show wasn't turning already into an anime. Marco's list of harems are growing. Star, Jackie, Hekapu, and now Kelly. Seriously. Like, somehow, some way, Ponyhead's gonna get into this, and I'm just gonna be like, no, I draw the line, like, we're done. So the next episodes are called Pandemonium and Death Pack. In reverse order. I believe Death Pack is first. I'm gonna give my ratings for this episode, I'm gonna give Sweet Dreams a 4 out of 5 because, you know, Star continuing to follow Eclipse's advice is interesting, and like, let's see where it takes her. Hopefully not too much of a bad road. And I'm going to break my own rules and give the second half of the episode a 7 out of 5 because holy crap did this episode believe in the phrase, the field train has no brakes. And Darren, you troll. Oh man. She's just trolling the fan base right now. I bet she was just I bet as the episode was just releasing, she was just like, I just love my job. Like, she's just messing with people. And like, I respect that about her. I can at least give props where credit is due. So yeah, that is the vlog for tonight, and I will see you guys at the next one. The next one will be up a little bit late. I've got work late night, but I will give it to you as soon as possible. And like I said, see you with the next episode, the next vlog. Peace.